Hello, this is Ernest ODell, and I just got a question on one of my YouTube tutorials that I just put up yesterday on going old school and using the fishbowl method. One of my subscribers wrote back to me, Brittany. She says, I'm in the network, and for me the hard part is not getting leads, but getting conversions. People say to call them, but if you don't have their number and you reply with an email, what is it that you say in the email? I've looked at IMN Marketer as a guide and have been using their auto-response, but with my link, and still no conversions. Okay, let me do this, okay? Let me go to the next page. And here's what I wrote back to Brittany in my reply on the YouTube, okay? I said, Brittany, the important part of the closing process is very simple. Tell them that they have to complete their trial offers depending on how many network levels you're promoting, and that once they're complete or green, then they're good for life, and they can now promote instant rewards and work on their conversions. If they don't convert and they have others in their downline who do, then they'll just have money waiting on them when until they convert or go green. They'll have money sitting in their account if they're promoting and they're not green and someone has signed up under them. We don't pay them for doing the offers unless you set up some kind of incentivized deal to split that payment process with them. I've found that doesn't always work, so I always lead with the money. The next reply I gave to her was also the ones who don't reply to your emails, the ones who don't leave you a phone number. There's a couple of ways to remedy that, and the first way is in the initial ad itself, where you tell them to leave a working email and phone number if they want to be taken seriously by you. Now, you might not word it just that way, but let's say you're advertising on Craigslist or one of the other ad venues or on Facebook. Serious inquiries only I do use, okay? So, I might put something like this in my ad. I will go bold, okay? Caps, serious inquiries only. And I might even underline it, okay? Now, the next reply I wrote to her was, if you spend a lot of your time, or all of your time, trying to chase down jokers, you're going to get frustrated. They are the ones looking for a job, not you. If they're not serious, then follow the training on the IMN Marketer site. And I told her, I said I would put up another tutorial on the channel here in a few hours showing you how to exponentially increase your conversion ratios, which I'm doing right now, okay? That's what this tutorial is all about, okay? And I'm sending this, especially to Brittany and to many of the others who are running into the same problem. So let's go over and look at the IMN site. All right. You've all been over here to the IMN Marketer, okay? And you can apply this to the Instant Rewards network. All you got to do is just change up the name. Remember, okay, let's go over here and take a look at what they say at the top of this. We're up here on the first page, breakdown of the follow-up process. 48% of the people in this business never follow up with a prospect. 25% of the people make a second contact and then they stop. 12% of the people make more than 3 contacts, or let's say 3 or more. 2% of the conversions are made on the first contact. 3% of the conversions are made on the second contact. 5% of the conversions are made on the third contact, and 10% of the conversions are made on the fourth contact. Here's where it jumps, okay? From the 5th to the 12th contact, you're going to have 80% or more conversions. And my business, it's been 50 to 87%, sometimes 95, depending on the business model and depending on the offer. Okay? Now, the importance of the follow-up process is exactly as it says right here, persistence. If you take the leaders in this organization like Rangeline Presley, Trace Burali, Delilah Hoagland, Anthony Wright, Liddell Smith, and many of the others, I could go on all day long. There's probably a couple of hundred leaders. They're quietly working the business, but one thing that they all have in common is they're consistent, okay, in their follow-up process, and they're persistent. Call it PNC, call it PC, persistence and consistency, or persistent consistency, better than politically correct. Persistent consistency. It's a combination. It's like persistence and consistency are first cousins. It's like they're brothers and sisters. Okay? Businessmen and women are busy people. Okay? The difference between making a conversion and not making one is catching your lead at the right time. When you call them, and you do get them on the phone, ask them, is now a good time to talk? If not, schedule a time to call them back and make sure you follow up and call them back at that specified time. Don't give them a chance to hedge out, okay? You call them. So I've got some open slots around 11 o'clock in the morning, and I have some this afternoon at 4. Which would be better for you? A morning call or an afternoon or an evening call? Give them a choice, 2 choices. Very rarely do I ever give them a third, okay? And I follow this same process in my consulting business, okay? I get them to ink the deal. Of course, you want to make sure that you're organized and make sure that your auto-responses are being sent out, all right, by the system. The Instant Rewards Network back office has a series of autoresponders in it that does all the heavy lifting for you, okay? And it will allow you to edit and enter some more. If you learn how to use the autoresponder and build some follow-up autoresponders in addition to the 9 or 10 that are already in there, you can build up, some nice auto response series to follow up with your people throughout the year. You don't want to follow up with them every day or every other day, but maybe go every 5 to 7 days or something like that. And maybe occasionally send everybody an auto response or a broadcast or just an individual email from the system. You can use the system. And you can create some really nice emails. Follow up and consistency, okay? If you've contacted your lead and they've sent you their name and email address in the system and they haven't given you a phone number, then you might tell them, if they're serious about this, they need to reply back to your email with a phone number. When they do, you can log into your system, then you can plug their phone number into your autoresponder. You can update leads in your autoresponder. If they don't reply to you, and then it's like I said, move on, okay? You don't have time to chase down people, okay? If you do, you're going to get frustrated. I go through hundreds of people, okay, to get 2 or 3 good leads. But I go through hundreds of people a day, okay? But I let the autoresponder do it. I call as many as I can. Well, some people say, well, Ernest, I don't have 100 or 200 people a day coming in. Well, call the ones you do have, okay? If you're not getting 100 leads a day, you need to post more ads. And I don't mean posting in Craigslist. You can post 1 or 2 or 3 every 48 hours or 1 a day over Craigslist. But use the other classified ad directories that are in the IMN Marketer site. Also use the one that's advertised in the Facebook group, the classified ads on the webs.com site. It's a great directory. It's got, probably a couple of hundred sites in there that you can use. Some of them are upgradable feature ads. Most of them, I'd say about 98% of them, 99% of them are free. They do get indexed, they do get aggregated, so use them. Also use Twitter. If you have a Twitter account, if you have Facebook, join some Facebook groups. Go back in the directory on this channel and look for those videos that I've done on joining Facebook groups and posting to Facebook groups, and look at the most recent videos that I've done on Twitter. Okay? Utilize Twitter. Utilize these little tools like this right here. This is called AddThis, ADDTHIS.com. You can get this tool from AddThis.com. You can get it from the Chrome browser, the Safari browser, for Internet Explorer, for Firefox, for Chrome, and you can paste this right here, by clicking. If you're logged into your Facebook account, you can click there. If you're not logged in, it'll tell you to log in, and then you can share this page, whatever page you're on, you can share. This is a little share tool, and you can put this up, and share it with your peeps. Okay, you can put it on your timeline, you can put it on a friend's timeline. Come over here and then type in their name, start with first letter, and it'll spawn a list. You can put it into a group. You can post this to a group that you belong to. Start typing in the name and see if it'll spawn. If it doesn't spawn, you might have to go and find the group or just post it directly. Sometimes they do that. You can post it onto a page that you manage. We used to call these fan pages. Okay, you can post this over to one of your fan pages or a business page that you manage. If you have pages, you can go set them up. If you don't have pages, you need to set some up, or you can send it in a private message to one of your friends on Facebook and just say, here is the training on follow-up I was telling you about. And Facebook is a great way to communicate back and forth with people privately. You don't want to share too much information. You don't have to worry about your information being shared on Facebook, because you already agreed to their terms and conditions anyway, all right, when you created your account. So if you don't want them sharing your information, close your Facebook account. If you do, you're going to chop off one of the biggest advertising and network lead sources that you've ever had in your life. Look, folks, Facebook and Twitter, okay, are, they're blessings. They're free. Use them. The next site over here on your IMN Marketer site is your phone scripts. If you leave them a voicemail, make it short. Do it in under 30 seconds. Don't read this whole script. Put this script in your own voice and maybe encapsulate it, okay, and say something like, "Hi, this is Ernest ODell. I see that you signed up, and I'm really glad you signed up, but you didn't leave, a way for me to get in touch with you, or, you got their phone number. Leave them a message. You didn't get back with me. I can't get a hold of you. If you have any questions, just call me. Thank you. Bye." Whatever. Okay. Or you can use text. A lot of the younger generation and even the older generation are learning how to text. My sister-in-law, okay, she's almost as old as I am. I think I'm about a year or two older than her. You know, she's texting like one of these young kids, like a 20 or 30 something, you know, and she's already a grandma, you know. So don't discount texting to older generation and the baby boomers and the 20 and 30 generations and the Gen Xers. More than 75% of American adults own cell phones, and more than 3/4 of them have learned how to use texting. Now, you don't want to do this while you're driving. Make sure you're safe. Pull over the side of the road, if you get a text or you have to send a text. Otherwise, let it wait until you come to a safe stopping place. I always say, use the power of texting. Use the power of Twitter, okay? If you have a big following on Twitter, follow people. If they're not following you back, comment on some of their comments. They'll get them if you reply back to them. All right, this is how you get them to follow you back, because Twitter is not an ad network. It's a social network. Build up relationships on Twitter. After a while, they may be interested in what you're doing. Okay, you don't have to do this 2 or 3 times a day. You don't have to hammer it once or twice an hour. Okay, but use the power of texting when you have their number, and use email. Okay, now here is some auto-response messages that can convert a cold lead into a hot conversion if it's worded correctly. When I signed up over a year ago, 18 months plus, almost 2 years ago, I got some similar emails like this. I had already signed up and I had already done my offers and I had already started. So, what's great about this is when I saw the follow-up messages, I'm saying, this is great. These messages are great. They work, okay? It says, like, welcome, John. You've made a great decision. Let me start off by saying that, how real this opportunity is. We know Facebook doesn't lie, right? You can reword this, okay? Please visit this group and check out, some of the comments. What you can do is, please visit this group. You can take this and you can paste this into your autoresponder, and then you can create a link on it. You can embed a link on this and make that little phrase there, visit this group. You can bold it, you can hot link it, okay? Here is a link to another one of the groups on Facebook, one of our support groups, okay? So here's some follow-up messages, okay? You can make some recommendations. Check out this information here, okay? The thing is, don't be afraid to work this business, because you have to call people back more often, and it takes sometimes 3, 4, 5 calls, okay? You don't have to call them every day, but just pick up the phone and be consistent and say, if you don't, and sometimes I give them an unsell. I do. I give them an unsell or a takeaway, and say, John, this is nearing 1 week. You've signed up and inquired about this. I'm going to pull my offer. I'm going to take it away from you, okay? Because if you don't click on the link to unsubscribe, you'll probably never hear from me again. Now, you don't have to actually unsubscribe them or kick them out or delete them or send them to the inactive file. If they don't go in and manually unsubscribe themselves, most people don't know how to do it anyway. It's all a learning process, because a lot of the people coming into this business are new to the internet, number one. They're new to instant rewards, number two. and they're new to autoresponders and how they work, and they're new to how the unsubscribe process takes place. And many of you who are listening to this video are probably in the same situation, so it's all a learning process. But the more you learn and the more you watch these videos every day, and the more you come back and participate in the Facebook groups, all right? Now let's say I'm logged into my Facebook group here, all right? Oh, this is cute. A cat in a guitar case. Okay. Get logged in. If you have a Facebook account, get logged in, okay? And, you know, you can post questions in the instant rewards. Now, because I'm an admin here, you can't post questions, but you can post comments in any of the threads and ask people. Over at the IMN Newbie Support Group, you can post questions. Do not spam, do not advertise your business here. You will get deleted, okay? They will delete your posts if you're a member, okay? If you're promoting or cross-promoting something else and you violate the rules, not only will your post get deleted, but you'll get bumped out of the group too, okay? There's no appeal. It's not a democracy. We run a dictatorship over here. Now, if you're in Facebook, you can say something on your timeline. You can do a little timeline ad. You can post just about anything you want on your timeline and make it public, okay? You can say something like, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and broke, then maybe you just need to get with me and hook up with me about doing something real. You know, inbox me for a solution to your financial problems. I promise not to hard sell you. I'll let you take a look at it. You do your due diligence and you tell me if you want to do this or not. I have gotten a lot of my friends, and you see I've got 4,932 friends, okay, and that's just on one network, okay? We're not talking, you know, I'm not even counting the ones that's on my fan pages and my business pages, okay, all my followers, and in my alternate networks. Get on Twitter. You have a Twitter account, it's free. Go over and sign up, okay? If you don't have a Twitter account, you can create one free. Go to Twitter, okay, right here below the sign up. If you don't have a sign up, doesn't spawn up, create a sign up, okay? I've got 2 accounts over here on Twitter. This is my main one, Guerrilla Market. Guerrilla Market. Guerrilla Market. That is me, Ernest ODell. All right. Guerrilla is Spanish for small war, because I am in a small guerrilla warfare against poverty. All right. And you'll see where I've got a lot of tweets, and a lot of times I don't even, you know, log in to make tweets. Here's another one. If you spend all your time trying to chase down jokers, you're going to get frustrated. These are replies that I just made to Brittany over on YouTube, because I've got YouTube hooked in to my Twitter. All right. And I'll say, Brittany, the important part of the closing process is very simple. See, my replies over here on YouTube are showing up on Twitter. They're also showing up on the classified ad site, okay, over here, because I have plugged in the Twitter widget. All right, let me show you. This is called exponential exposure. This is how you get people to connect with you, Brittany. All right, here it is. If you spend all your time trying to chase down jokers, you're going to get frustrated. This is just like a tweet. This is just like as if I had logged in, but it's because I've got YouTube connected to my Twitter. And I've also got my classified ad sites connected to my Twitter. Guess what else I have connected to my Twitter? a free WordPress blog. My WordPress blog, even though it's free, I can log in and plug in this widget and not get my chops busted for having these tweets come through. Here it is, Brittany, the important part of the closing process. Also, if you spend all your time trying to chase down, you see how many times I have just exponentially exposed my comments. Okay, so what they can do is they can come back to this and they can click on that link and they can see this YouTube video, all right, that you replied to, and they can see all my replies, all right, and they can watch the video, all right. So they can see all this going on. I'm getting exponential exposure, okay, and I'm also helping send exposure back to Brittany. They might connect with her through YouTube. YouTube being the third largest search engine in the world, because it's owned by the largest search engine, Google. It stands to reason why you're going to get a lot of exposure, okay? Now, if you don't get somebody to reply back to you through your email reply or your phone call or your text, if you're constantly going out there and posting your ads on these sites like the top 25 over here at the classified ad sites directory, if you're posting on the top 25, if you're posting on all of these, and if you go over to page 2, more classified ad sites, and you post on those, you see how many we have here. There's probably a couple of hundred at the on the 2 pages. And then these high traffic networks right here on the bottom half of the page, those are paid networks. And it's well worth it if you spend some time getting to know some of these ad managers over there and setting up an account, putting up a deposit, because then it's targeted, laser targeted based on keywords, okay? And they'll even show you how to set up a functional, profitable campaign. I've had campaigns where I've spent $100 on some of these campaigns, and they've produced thousands of dollars in revenue, okay? So all you have to do is be persistent and be consistent on your follow-up. Persistent consistency. Persistence and consistency. Okay? If you have any other questions about these training articles, you can get on the groups. You can email at feedback@imnmarketer.com. You can even reply to this video. And just, I get emails every day. I check them every day. Sometimes I miss them. I might be a month getting back. But today I was, kind of lucky. I got, this, within 24 hours. I usually try to get back to my videos or my replies on YouTube within, a day or so. And sometimes I'll, even do a follow-up. So I hope this has been helpful for you. You can also contact me on my email address just by replying to this video. Thank you, and I hope this has helped you. Bye-bye.